Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our IMI Global webinar series. Today, I am speaking with Mr. Dan Dorn of ABS, and we are going to talk a little bit about their program and how our partnership works with them. So, Dan, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it. Can you just start off by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself and your role at ABS?
Sure. So Dan Dorn, I live in South Central Nebraska. I've been with ABS Global for 6 years, just this month. Prior to that, a tremendous amount of feedlot experience on the beef side. I absolutely have no dairy experience out of what I maybe learned a little bit on the beef on dairy side. I've been working with ABS and Beef InFocus. That's their trademark label for the beef on dairy space, beef on dairy sales, semen sales. But we consider ourselves more as a genetic provider. We don't want to get into the semen sales, the transactional. We're looking and building more of a program. You know, my experience in the feedlot, as well as packing house, a little bit of retail stuff I've been involved in over my career, has been really served me well in what we're doing with Beef InFocus, and that is just that, trying to create a program of, pull through. So, and right now, I'm in the middle of it where I'm pulling the rope, but I'm also pushing the rope, and so kind of going both ends of the deal. I work specifically, my job is to really connect the dots between dairymen, calf ranches, feedlots, packers, and even a little bit of retail space. So in all them segments, I'm working diligently and helping our beef on dairy customers, our Beef InFocus customers, to help their product actually worth more money.
That's so awesome. Well, honestly, Dan, that really transitions us into our next question. So can you talk to us a bit about your guys' Breed Verified program with us? And what are the qualifications or recommendations for a producer looking to maybe be in the InFocus program?
Sure. So a few years back, we had, and InFocus was it's really been going since 2012, but really took off a couple of years ago. But we had so many of our particular feedlot customers that maybe were involved in buying calves from day old. So in the dairy business, completely different from the beef side of things. A lot of these calves are put in hutches and taken care of from day old. And so it's hard to really distinguish different genetics from day old to, say, even 75 days of age. So many of our customers asking us, how do I know? What do I do? So I got together with IMI Global's team and started posing these questions, and so we come up with the genetic verification piece so we have a program in partnership with IMI Global, Where Food Comes From, where we could actually go to our customers and genetically verify a program, and then the rest was really simple. I mean, they could just add on all the other pieces, whether it be non-hormone treated, NACC, natural, China approved, any other verification programs that maybe the customer was already working with. It was just a simple add-on for no additional cost. And so it's really, and it has some teeth in it too. We have reserved the rights to actually take tissue sample for DNA if we see a red flag or we run into some problems, or maybe the semen got mixed up or some other case. So it's really worked well. It's really taken hold. Our feedlot partners and our packer partners now, they're just almost insisting that this is the only way to go, is have that third-party verification. And that's what's so unique about it. We're the only genetics provider that does this as far as a semen company. So I think it's really, it sets itself apart from the other programs that you guys may have.
That's so awesome, Dan. Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'd love for you to elaborate just a little bit more of why you guys decided it was important to build the InFocus program, and why did that cultivate into what it is today?
Well, so it's, this whole, the beef on dairy space has so much, it's a very sustainable program. You take less land mass, the animals are more concentrated, and then all these different, and it's really beef with a story. You have a story all the way through because of that the dairy influence on that. And it's almost like a 13th milk check for a lot of our dairy producers. Before that dairy calf was just a byproduct, and honestly, it just wasn't worth a lot of value. But now, when you have these animals that with the right genetics, and then we verify the genetics, is they're as good as or better than average beef cattle. And some of my beef counterparts that I've so truly love and been around for my entire career, they really look at you like, what? They're half dairy. I says, I know. But we created our own genetic nucleus lines. So we're actually creating bulls specifically for the beef on dairy space. We don't go out and try to find third-party bulls. That's how a lot of semen companies operate, and that's how we operate on our beef on beef space as ABS Global. But we've actually created our own nucleus herd. We're creating over 500 bulls and 500 females every year from our genetic nucleus. And then we sift through that, but through all the other genomics, ultrasound, grow safe, to collect an individual feed efficiency, and sift through, we get down to less than 5% of the 500 we actually use in stud. So a huge investment on our part, but also really detailed and custom design in that bull, or we begin with the end in mind, and that's our end user, our product for eventually retail. We're convinced that there's probably, and we're actually in the middle of a study right now, that there's 5% more retail red meat yield on this beef on dairy space than in, say, an Angus. And I don't want to bash the Angus, but it's really cool to what we're seeing, this kind of product as we come out, because the dairy side of the business brings that female dairy cow she had a lot of marbling, but they're also very lean. So you eliminate internal fat, seam fat, things like that, even though there's more bone, but we can actually have that more retail red meat yield product. So eventually, again, beef with a story, and we can take it clear to retail. This could be a very fun project long term as we go on.
That is so awesome, Dan. It's such a neat perspective and trying to broaden, a producer's, interest and allowing them to have some flexibility in it with dairy influence. So that is so neat. So kind of transitioning, I am wondering, and I'm sure other producers are wondering, how does the InFocus program benefit producers that are enrolled in it?
So the people that enroll, it just gives them their buyer. I don't get involved in the buying, the selling. I'm kind of the coach on both sides, but it gives our buyers, that feedlot or packer that's buying these calves, the knowledge that they are truly beef in focus, because we have done so much work on the carcass side and the feedlot side. So it just gives them confidence when they're buying. So there's more money. We have customers in California and Nevada that sell 400 pounders on an auction in California. They top the sale by $40 to $60 a head if they are verified through IMI Global Sterling Solutions. So it's a really neat program, and it pays off in the end. It's a relatively cheap deal to do, but it just gives everybody that confidence for the end.
Great. Now, transitioning over to the consumer side, and you kind of touched on this a little bit when you were talking about the beef animal story, and talking about that story from, pasture to all the way to the retail chain, and your guys' research that you're doing now. So can you answer, how does this program benefit consumers, and what should they look for?
It goes back to that consumer confidence, and and then when again, this whole beef on dairy space is new to the industry, but they don't realize, especially beef producers don't realize, there's already 20% of dairy production, beef production, goes into the beef space already. And this just adds to that story and that level of confidence, and that's why we're so excited to working with IMI and your team, and when we do this genetic verification. We're looking in the future and other things that we could do, your CARES program, your beef passport, all kinds of stuff that we really think will benefit all of our producers, and that's why we really like working with IMI and what they're doing.
That's great. Well, we really like working with you guys too, and we see, the progress you're trying to make and helping continue tell that story for the producer, but so the consumer can better understand, because I feel like that's something that's really a thing that is missing even in today's world. So awesome. Well, Dan, is there anything else you would like producers to know that we haven't touched on?
No, I think again, this whole program of having this third-party verification is just well, I don't care if it's beef on beef, it's beef on dairy, it's the whole. We're all focused on what the consumer is looking for as the end product. We want a safe, wholesome product for everybody. And this just being able to do this, like you add cares or anything else that you guys are doing and we're looking at, I think it's just wonderful, and hope to continue on with our partnership and helping this our end product get better and safer for the public.
That's great. Well, Dan, if a producer is interested in learning more about InFocus, what's the best way to get a hold of you, or how can they get that process started?
So, they can talk to their local ABS authorized reps or employees. You can go to absglobal.com, contact me directly. There's several different ways that you can learn about the program, and we'd be glad to share with anybody some of our data, some of our research stuff, because it's very intriguing.
Awesome. Well, Dan, thank you again for taking time out of your day to talk with us. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing, as well as ABS and the trying to figure out better ways for producers and consumers to have a good product. So thank you guys so much for listening in. As always, you can, we have a spot on our website that you can learn more about the InFocus program. If you go to www.imiglobal.com, you can always call our office and ask us, or obviously get a hold of Dan, and he'll be more than happy to help you as well. So thanks again, Dan, and we will talk to you guys later.
All right, thank you.